Hello again. In the last video, I talked how you should act like a salesman, putting all the good qualities of the product that is about you to the panel. And for you to be able to do so, first thing is you need to know the good things about you. This is what I kept referring to. You need to be ready with 4 to 5 stories. That could be anything, any aspect of you, right? You should be ready for that. And so that you can tell these stories in the interview, you should be interpreting the questions a little liberally, so that most of these answers can be fitted into any question. But your answers have to be very, very precise, specific. You need to draw the attention to certain aspects about those story that you're talking about, right? So your answers should be very close-ended, and you should not be, your answer should not be roundabout ways left open for interpretation. You should not get into any conversation that you have not planned. Let's go further now. In my live sessions, a lot of students would be very cynical about this suggestion of mine that I just gave. And the most common objection was that won't it be apparent that I'm trying to act very smart? My counter to this is, yes, it is possible. It is quite possible that the panel is going to understand what you're doing, right? But would the panel hold it against you? I don't think so, right? On the contrary, what I would just, let's say the panel directly on my face tells, we asked you about your marks. Why are you telling me about your interest in sports? Let's say the panel starts questioning me. This is what I'm saying. The panel has the prerogative of accepting the answer or not accepting the answer. And because the panel has those rights, that doesn't mean that I should not be volunteering information. I would still volunteer information. Remember, it's very important for me to get the sales done. And if I want to get the sales done, go back to that salesman. That salesman is unashamedly will keep talking about the product. He's not going to wait for the customer to, probe and find out about the product, right? So, if the panel doesn't want to hear that, panel will tell it to me. And what if they tell me, why are you doing this? I would still hold my ground and I say, it's important that I make a good impression on you, and this interview is important, this getting a call is important for me, and hence I am putting out whatever I'm good at rather than left it unsaid. I would very clearly be ready with all these answers. What happens? Tell me the panel hears that. What is the panel going to do? Let's say cosmetically they might still think, or they might say, hey, listen, we don't want to hear your stories, just answer to the point. Okay, yes sir, I'm sorry sir, yes sir. Let's go ahead, right? Now what I'm saying is, but later on, when the interview is done, is the panel really going to hold it against me? Is the panel going to get into this petty manship that, oh, that student was trying to act very smart? Or is the panel going to go ahead and have an opinion that, okay, at least the student was prepared, right? At least he thought that the process is an important one and he was prepared, right? So I don't think so that the panel is going to object too much to your volunteering information. And it is with this, let's say, idea that I'm beginning this session. I'm going to give you a very important one more counter why the panel will not object to it. And that counter is, that the second stage is a selection round. It is a round of selection. Whereas stage 1, the written test that you did, was a elimination stage. Yeah, I'll call it rejection, elimination. Now, is it just clever play of words? Think of it. Yeah. Okay, that is elimination, rejection. This is selection. Why? Why is it so? Is it because there out of 2 lakh people taking the CAT, maybe only 5,000 people are going to be called for the interview, and hence the remaining 1,95,000 people or so on are rejected? And here out of the 5,000, just about 400 are going to be selected. But then, here also the remaining, 4,000 people are going to be rejected. Think, is there a difference between selection, rejection? Think, because I will come with my point. But again, till the time you don't appreciate the difference, my talk will not convince you. So I'll help you out. Yeah, what's the difference? The difference is not these numbers. Yeah, one way to look at it is these are selected, the others are rejected. So those who are rejected will feel, oh, this is a rejection round. Those who are selected will feel this is a selection round. Nothing of that sort. It's much more important. So pay attention. Let's for a minute reverse the role. You are the panel. Yeah, you are the panel. So, and you come and you say, okay, I'll do the interview, and so the institute tells, okay, do the interview, but now what I want you to do is I want you to reject people. So now think, if the mandate given to you is to reject people, think of what will your, let's say, modus operandi be in the interview. You are the panel, mind you, and your mandate is you have to reject people. So think, yeah, that will tell you what a rejection round is. Compare it with, you are the panel and the mandate given to you is, we have to select the best amongst the lot. We have to select the best amongst the lot. So your job as a panel is, you are going to face these many, you're going to go to these interviews, and whoever is sitting out over there, select the good ones amongst them. Right? And I'm not saying reject the bad ones. Yeah, I'm just saying that the interview is being held to select the better ones. Now compare it. Now compare. If the mandate was to reject people, what would your idea be, or how would you conduct the interview? And if the idea was to select good people, what would your idea as a panel, what would you be doing? Think about it, and then I'll tell you what the difference is. So I don't think that I need to really voice it now, the difference. A rejection stage or an elimination stage is a filtering process where one focuses just on a few parameters and whether the candidate fulfills those parameters or does it. So for example, your first rejection or elimination stage is 50% in graduation. Now, if a person is fulfilling it, great. If a person is not, you are not a part of the system. Your second elimination stage is, let's say, the cutoffs, the sectional cutoffs. Oh, so you are excellent. Think about it now. Yeah, you have got 99 and 99 in 2 sections. Right? But one section you have got a 74.8, 74.9, and the cutoff over there is 75. That's it. That's enough reason for me to reject. So no one is going to look at the fact that you have got that 99, 99. The one is going to look at the fact that you did not meet the 75 and hence reject. Right? Overall. So I hope you got the idea. So in rejection, the focus is on not meeting certain criterias. And for any of those reasons, everything is out of question and the person is rejected. So for example, if because of a gap in your career, if it was an elimination round, if there was a criteria that no one should have more than 3 months, 4 months of gap, so then all those people who have a gap would have been summarily rejected. But we know that doesn't happen. We know almost half the batch or more than half the batch, quite a lot, 3/4 of the batch is going to have some sort of break in their career. Right, and I'm pretty sure you know of stories that there are people who have got selected even having more than a year's break, almost 2 years break, and some of these interviews they haven't even touched upon this career break. And obviously then most of them they will ask, but there are certain interviews that they haven't. So what I'm saying is it is not an elimination, that part, right? Now let's come to the selection. If the mandate given to you is select the candidate, or not select the candidate, select the good ones. So automatically, do you know, when you sit on that panel and your mandate is to select the good ones, what happens is you start searching for good qualities. You start searching. So this person who has this career break or who might not have excellent ACADS, so I already know the person doesn't have excellent ACADS. If the idea was not to select the person, right, I would not have given a call. Why am I wasting this time? Remember, time is very precious, students. Okay, and the panel is investing this time, and their time is very costly. Okay, I told you earlier also, why are they spanning when they can pick out whoever they want? The demand is so high. Why are they investing so much time in spreading across the country, giving 30 minutes of panel time to each individual? That's a lot of time, you understand? Why do they do that? Because they want to pick the best person, and for the best person they're saying, I am going to focus on what is good. Student, you might not readily agree, but then I can't convince you, but I can definitely tell you, if this was not the idea, then that the whole idea of an interview is not there. Anywhere where you reach an interview stage, do you understand, when you reach an interview stage, the company, the institute or anyone is already interested in you, and then they want to make sure that there is, there are enough reasons, whatever I have assumed, everything seems fine, let me just cross check that first, right? Or let me find some more thing, right? So these all are good now, and the panel, again, they don't come from Mars. Remember, these panel are professors. Their son, daughter, nephew, niece are in the same age group as you guys are, right? They know how important it is. Many of these professors, these nephew, niece, son, daughters, don't even make it to the interview stage of an B school or so on. So they know how difficult it is to get that interview. And you have got that interview call after competing with 2 lakh people and standing in the top 4,000 people, right? So they already know you are very good, right? But then they can't give a seat to all 4,000. So therefore they have come. So they're looking at what is best out of these. So they're looking at the good things. They are no longer worried. They're no longer worried that your marks are not good. They're no longer worried that you have that career break. They're no longer worried about anything. It is you who are worried, and you can't get that drawbacks out. You are so obsessed with those weaknesses or those areas that I'm not good at, that you don't spend any time thinking what are you good at. Almost all the posts on Facebook or so on, everyone everywhere is only focusing on, I don't know this, I am weak at GK, my marks are poor, I have this break, I don't know why I'm doing an MBA. Only these are the ideas that they want an answer to. None of them are sitting and thinking about, how do I go and put my best foot forward What is that best thing? Have you found out those 4 stories, 5 stories about you? If you haven't found out those 4, 5 stories, you are wasting time, students. Immediately sit down and the next 2, 3, 4 days introspect, figure out, find ways, go back to your school days, ask your friends, do a lot of thought process, but come up with 4, 5 stories which are good things, right? The panel makes efforts. Why do you think the panel keeps switching or keeps asking questions in different areas? They say, okay, this area is not very good, let me check if there's something else. Okay, I did not find any, so the person is an engineer, but I did not find anything great about, he doesn't know a lot about engineering. Oh, maybe he might be knowing a lot about general knowledge, maybe he might be knowing a lot about something else, so let me ask him that. So what is it that you did in other than your college activities? How does it start? It starts by exploring. And why? And this responsibility is very heavy on the panel shoulder. It's not something that is not very easily to find out good things when the candidate is not participating in the process. So students, you will be like what do you call a fresh air, a breath of fresh air in that interview if you come all ready with good stories and you're telling stories one after the other, students, right? That at least gives the panel something to probe and question. Look, their demeanor might be very different. Don't go with the expression that they make. Don't go with the words of the question or the way they put the question. There they are acting. They're not being sitting over there trying to be nice to you. They might try to be very hard with you, but then you never know what is it that they are thinking. So don't second guess them. Don't look at how they are behaving. Just go in with an idea that it's a selection stage, and for a selection stage you need to volunteer information, right? So we'll take up the first, as a support for this again, what is the first question that a panel gives to most of the people? And that is about introduce yourself. So start thinking, if the panel's idea was to rejection, would they really want to be so nice and ask you introduce yourself? Why do they do that? Again, the answer is not very difficult. One answer which almost all of you are going to give is they want to know what to question. Now, why do they want to know what to question? Because they are giving you an opportunity. You tell what you're good at, and then we will check whether you're good at that, right? So your introduction is an opportunity for you, the first as wide open a question as you can get. That you can, here so there's no question of acting smart, right? So can you push in your stories here, right? So let's see how we can do that. Second reason, the panel knows that when you walk into that interview room, your heart is beating faster. They know that it is not the best of the scenario to check with how good the student is. So they want to put you at ease. So in most of the cases, not every case, not everyone, but most, more than 90% of the case, your question will be introduce yourself. How do you handle this?